What's good? What's good? What's good? What it do? What it do? What it do? It is your girl Empress back in this area, this space, this YouTube channel, our community, our area where we can come and hang out and do some learning, a little bit of what is it, DIY, uh, self improvement, do a little life study. This is Life in the Black Memoirs. Uh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you are new here, hello. I'm your girl, Empress. And if you are returning, what's up, fam? What it do? Drop a what it do in the comments. Let me know that you are in the building. And also, you know what the homework is. Hit that like button. If you're new here and you feeling my vibe, don't forget to subscribe. Hey, I'm rhyming tonight. It's so crazy. I'm so sorry. But silly me. I love being silly. Why? Because sometimes it's just in order. You can't be serious all the time, right? Um, but on a serious note, let's just jump into it. I'm not gonna hold you. As you know, I am in the beginning. This is the second episode of the Trigger series, and doing something a little bit different. You just got to be able to, move when you are led to go in a different path. However, it's still going to be in the context of the Trigger series. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get this out the way, which is so very important. I want to take this time to ask you how your soul is doing. Remember a couple of videos ago, and I said I wanted to really make that a point simply because we, myself included, get so wrapped up in the day to day, get so wrapped up in whatever the routine is, what has to get done, what bills have to be paid, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And so many things can occur within a day, let alone a week, a month, a year, so on and so forth. Um, and we have to really do some self check ins, self reflection, have some time when you just make it a point to quiet the mind and see how your soul is doing, how you're reacting, or responding, whether you're reacting or responding to situations that go on within your life. And so I do want to take this time because some people don't have individuals, they don't have a circle to do check-ins just to see how you're doing. Yeah, you're around people every day, most likely, and some people they'll ask you because it's almost like it's second nature. Hey, how you doing? But nobody really, I don't really think people really ask, how you're doing in the essence of really getting that full response of really how you're doing, unless it is, your immediate circle. So if you don't have someone like that or people like that, or hell, if you haven't been asked in a genuinely way, how is your soul doing? How are you doing? Take a moment, pause this video, and just do a self check-in really quick and see where your vibration is. Are you vibrating high? Are you feeling good? Hopefully, you've been able to eat and things of that nature. Do things that you like to do, and I hope most importantly that you took time to thank the creator when you woke up this morning. And hopefully, you haven't allowed the day to put any negative context, on your canvas. If you saw last week's video, you saw towards the end that I presented a canvas, which I do have here, you know, and I was talking briefly about, the things that you're allowing to be put on this canvas. God, creator, source, divine, spirit, however you identify, you know, gives you the present, the gift of life, and we wake up with a clean slate. Yeah, things might be, rolling over from yesterday or whatever, but emotionally, um, it's still a clean slate, and it's definitely up to you, whether it's definitely up to you. What do I want to say on what goes on that canvas, you know, and then it's also your choice whether or not you give people the paintbrush to put things on your canvas. Because if you allow people to put things on your canvas, then you're allowing um, external factors, if you will. I don't want to just limit it to individuals, but you allow uh, the external society, whatever you are surrounded by throughout the day, whether or not you allow that to be put on your canvas and then you're walking around with that all day, it's still your choice. So make sure that whatever it is that you're putting on your canvas is are things that are going to keep you in a high vibrational mode, is going to propel you forward, um, just keep you in an overall a good state. um, so you see the title of today's uh, video, and it is, oh, are you suffering from a dehydrated thought process, right? It's like, where do I come up with these things? But this morning when I was getting ready for work, um, I tend to listen to different inspirational things. If you ever get a moment, it's all over YouTube, but there are also books um, from Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks. Definitely, if you get a chance, listen to that, especially if you are on and doing your due diligence of being on this self work uh, journey. You definitely need to make sure that you're putting the right gas in your car. If your car takes unleaded, if you put diesel in your tank, you're going to mess up the engine. So you definitely have to put things in you. Make sure that you're surrounded by people that, you know, influence you, or just give back what you're giving back, and I hope that is positive vibes. But anyway, let's just get into it. I'm gonna keep this, I promise you I'm gonna keep it short this time. I've got my materials. I'm gonna do a little bit of reading, but I read the material and I could bring it or regurgitate it in a way, but I just felt that the way that it was presented here was enough, and I didn't want to add or take away. Yeah, I will give my commentation on it, uh my little commentation, my commentary uh on it, but let's just get into it. So this one, last last week I was talking about the negative triggers, negativity. Obviously, if we're talking about triggers, it's coming from a lower vibrational place. Triggers aren't not necessarily associated with things that are happy. they're they're emotional things that upset us, that put you in a lower vibrational mode. So I was saying to myself, yes, we can discuss triggers all day. We can discuss the things that, we don't necessarily feel good about. We don't like to have certain things done to us because they take us out of character or whatever the case may be. A trigger is a trigger. It puts you in a negative emotion, and that's it. But even though I say, this is a trigger series, hey, yes, gung ho, let's talk about our triggers. There are some people that either deny that they have triggers or don't even see the point of doing the work, identifying what the triggers are, and working on them in the space of healing that area. Simply because we can say that a trigger, whatever triggers us, it's a soft spot within us. And not saying it's a soft spot in the context of it makes us weak. It's just it's a place that's not healed within us. Can we at least agree on that? Because if something happens and it's one of our triggers, it puts us in a negative vibration, makes us want to lash out or react, if you will. Usually not in a positive manner or a conducive manner to whatever the situation is. Um, we, how do I want to say? Triggers just, triggers just, they just bring us down, you know, and we have to get to a point where these are, it's almost like having a bruise anywhere on your body. If you rub your hand by it or you knock yourself on the table, it's going to hurt wherever that bruise is. Why? Because it has not properly healed. And that is in conjunction to that trigger. That's an area that has not been properly healed. You follow me? Hopefully you do. So not only do we have to identify our triggers, we also have to be willing to do the work to properly heal that area, so that when that trigger comes up again, because as long as we are on top side of this earth, there are going to be things, people, places, songs, whatever, that are going to bring back to our memory a negative aspect or a low vibrational aspect in our life. Is going to trigger us to bring up an ill emotion, and have the possibility of putting us in a dark mood for the rest of the day, hell, for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year. But until we identify that, it is imperative that not only do we identify our triggers, but we have to take the time to heal, understand the importance of healing those areas. Whatever we don't address is just going to continue. I always say, whatever we resist, it will persist. So those emotions that are tied to that trigger, yes, we're not ever, I don't think, going to forget anything that has been done to us. However, we can work on healing that portion of our lives to the point where when we are reminded of that situation, person, place, whatever the case may be, the sting is not that, it just doesn't hit that hard, because it's almost, I know, I've been through things that were very traumatizing to me. And I would say, therapist, I'm not a therapist, but, yeah, I've been in some therapy sessions. Why not? It just to be able to talk to someone who, is unbiased, that's just a perfect scenario. But, usually, at least what I was told, that when you're able to talk about a situation um that has traumatized you, and you're not crying anymore, or maybe you maybe shed a tear, you're not, doubled over in pain, and you're not boo-hooing with the snot and running your makeup, or if you are a male, you're just, you're not so tense and everything like that. You're able to communicate that situation in a way in which you can give, this is the situation, this is how it made me feel, but this is how I got over it, without putting the extra emotion in it. That's, for me, I think that's the point where you can say you're healed, or you're in the process of healing, because the sting of isn't it isn't that deafening. It doesn't hurt so bad. You may just drop a tear. You don't need the whole box of Kleenex anymore. So you can, it's up to you to gauge. It's up to you to gauge how you figure that you're healing. So I have two things that I'm going to read, do a little commentary on, and then we'll do our Thankful Thursday check-in, and then we're done. So going into the importance of healing this trigger space, this bruise, if you will. I was reading this spiritual book. It's, oh my gosh, I forgot to write. I know her name is, I believe it's Judy Hall. Oh my gosh, I was gonna write it down and I completely forgot. Anyways, I'll put it down in the description box and I'll read over this really quick and then do a little talking about it. It says, it is the process of allowing fear and doubt in that makes us vulnerable to our own negative belief in ourselves and to other people's beliefs about us and to others' greater or lesser malevolent intent. Parents program their children. This one is different from all the rest. He's so naughty, clumsy, aggressive, thick, etc., whatever the noun is, then they are surprised when he turns out to be an antisocial loner who mugs old ladies for his drug money. We do this to ourselves all the time. We have some very deep irrational beliefs about ourselves that reside out of our usual consciousness. But from the depths of our psyche, they subtly undermine what we try to do. I don't deserve to be. I'm not worthy to be. I will never be. Ensure that we never will be. On the other hand, why does it always happen to me? Ensures that it always will. As Richard Bach says, argue your limitations, and sure enough, they are yours. We manifest what we believe. The single thought, he or she is more powerful than me, lays us open to psychic dominance. Such an attack may not be malevolent meant. Poor old so and so, said out of sympathy and repeated often enough, will ensure poverty and ill fortune for the rest of so and so's natural life. If so and so believes that he or she is powerless, helpless, and at the mercy of outside forces, if deep down so and so believes he or she is all powerful and in control of life, then the situation could change drastically overnight. When I read this, when I read this passage in a book, and then in conjunction with Abraham Hicks that I was listening to this morning, um, I was thinking about how I approach this series, and yeah, depending on, and I don't want to say just depending on what society brings to us, is what we're faced with, that we have to make adjustments throughout the day. But I was listening to Abraham Hicks and it was talking about changing your life, and I said, okay, we have triggers and we want to identify the triggers. We want to be better. We want to learn from, take the opportunity to identify what our triggers are. Go back to the storage unit, get that box out, look at what we need to heal, and heal it. Because that is a bruised part or area in our life, if we want to be honest. But it goes back to what I was saying last week. When we either we don't see the negativity, the negative self-talk that we do to ourselves, um, where that negative self-talk has stemmed from. No one is born going, oh my goodness, I hated that I was in this stomach for 9 months. It's just horrible. The doctor was there, the nurses was there. The baby doesn't say that. At least I hope that the baby doesn't. But the negative things that we tell ourselves, the negative things that we believe, it follows us uh, for the rest of our life. And thinking about trigger, um, those bruises, this thought process that we're having when we think about triggers, and we stay sucked in to that trigger. We, we lash out when that trigger is, when that bruise is touched. We lash out because it's not healed. Um, and I was thinking, if we don't really understand that we have to believe first. Sure, we got our triggers. But if we don't believe within ourselves that we can do the work and be successful to heal that bruise, heal from those triggers, then why should we even identify them? What's the point? Because if we put ourselves, just like it says that the parents program their children to end up being a certain way. I talked about this maybe in my first video. The labeling theory. If we keep saying to ourselves, we're never gonna be anything, like it was saying here, I'm not worthy to have this, I'm not worthy to have this job, or I'm not worthy to have this relationship, or I will never be a lawyer, I'll never be whatever it is that you want to do in your career, or I don't deserve that, because all during our life, we've had people basically just feed us negativity. So in turn, we've ingested it. And not only have we ingested it, we believe that that's the norm. And that's not what it is. Our triggers are just bruises that need healing. So when it comes up again, you know, um, that pain isn't so deep because we've done the work, like I keep saying, and it's in the banner going, on the bottom of this video. We got to do the inner work. It's the new sexy. We got to heal ourselves, and it doesn't have to be looked at as a bad thing. Yes, doing the shadow work, let me tell you, I will always tell you that it's uncomfortable. But what's even more uncomfortable is continuing to drag Erica Badu, all these bags, bag lady, bag man, dragging all these emotions from a situation that occurred how long ago? You know, that situation is done. It's time to heal that area of your life. So, God willing, if you have 30 more years, 40 more years on this earth, that if that area of your life is touched, that it won't hurt so much. Okay? So, this this right here, we got to believe in ourselves. How do we establish belief? We got to stop the negative self-talk. I'm never gonna do it, or I'll never have this. You are reinforcing. It's the law of attraction. Please understand the things that you say about yourself, the things that we say negatively about other people. You are projecting, you are transferring negativity. Why do that? Why put negativity on your canvas? It's not a good look. You know what I mean? The more you gotta find it within yourself. Do the work to the point where you can find the belief within yourself, find the faith within yourself to say, you know what, I can look at these triggers. Yeah, we can identify them all day, but if we don't look at it, apply the medicine, if you will, apply not only the band-aid, because after so long the band-aid has to come off. We got to give that area some air to breathe. you know uh, we got to allow it to scab up. Quit picking at the scab. Allow the skin underneath. Your body has, the creator has done an excellent job on, you know putting the necessary things in our body uh to regenerate themselves to a certain degree. uh we just got to get to a point, and I'm saying we got to get to a point, including myself. And I do this when I'm human. I'm human. And so I have the tendency to think negative. I do. But immediately combating that negative thought, I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. This is where we're going with that. This is what we're doing. I put positive um, vibration on top of that low vibration that had the moment within myself. So please believe, if I can do it, identifying a trigger, taking the time to heal that area to the point where now I can talk about certain things in my life and the pain has lessened, then you can do it as well. Um, it's just a bruise, and I don't want to say it's just a bruise like a bruise doesn't matter, because it does. A bruise is very tender, and definitely depending on the location, it can take a very long time to heal. But the more we don't do what we need to heal those areas, it's just going to get worse. It's just like, you wouldn't put, well, hopefully you wouldn't put dirt in an open wound, because you don't want to mix, dirt, germs with something that's so vulnerable. And that's why when that trigger is touched upon, the lash out is so aggressive because it hurts. It hurts. But it can heal. We just have to be willing to heal it. We have to tell ourselves that yes, this part of our lives can be healed, and it will be healed. Because the more we say, oh, this has just been my life, and this is how it's been, and I don't deserve nothing else. No, actually, you do. God wakes you up. Yes, that's another opportunity. You have another chance to live a life in which you are genuinely smiling, genuinely happy inside, genuinely healed from past hurts, triggers, traumas, you know. Um, you are able and capable of healing these bruises. So, moving on to the second thing um, that I wanted to read, and then we're going to wrap it up. Um, this is also about our thought process, because we have to, let me just read it. uh However, it is also essential that you continue to focus on your path ahead. You may run the risk of becoming so absorbed in the emotions swirling around that you lose sight of the need to just let go and move on. Your focus stays locked on the damage when it should be on the recovery. Now is the time to accept what happened and move forward with your life. The pain and sorrow and grief are a necessary part of life. Without pain, you would never experience the challenges you need to grow and develop as a person. Every hardship creates discomfort, which inevitably turns into an opportunity to become stronger. Learn from your mistakes and change the course of your life for the better. While the pain may cloud your vision for a time, it will eventually bring clarity and enable you to put the past behind you. Can you see this experience as a learning opportunity? The good news is that this painful season will pass. While this hurt brings sadness, it's only temporary. You will bounce back. The clouds will dissipate, and you soon will have a better perspective on what you can learn from that experience. You can conquer the pain that comes your way. All it takes is faith, self love, forgiveness, and time. Um, when this pain arrives when you're taking others' words to heart, you may be prone to internet trolls, workplace bullies, or spiteful strangers. Or it may be closer to home with those you love saying hurtful words to you. Just remember that you do not have to accept their words as truth. They are merely another person's opinion or a projection of their own inner fears and anxieties. Shift the energy by looking at these people with a compassionate heart. What struggles are they going through that they would feel the need to throw their insecurities at you? Be mindful too. While why are their words triggering you? Is there more a more profound truth in what they've said? One you might be not willing to just see yet. Use these pain points to expand your perspective and see the bigger picture of what is happening here. I said that I read this. It's a total different book, but this is what I'm meaning as far as like life study is concerned, because I love to read, and when I read things and they kind of coincide with what we're doing here, I would be negligent in not bringing it to you. However, it's these few paragraphs. You might have to listen to what I read over again just to ingest uh, what was going on. We have to understand or get to a point where, let's just say that one of these triggers happened to you 5 years ago. That situation is done, you know, but it's up to you on whether or not you're going to continue to relive it over and over and over again. Um, Look at these triggers as an opportunity to learn. Like, what is it that I need to learn in life? What can I do different? And then, like it was saying at the end, if somebody is saying something and is triggering us, does it hold weight? Is it something that is being brought to us that is indeed uh, something that is not in alignment with who we think we are, who we perceive we are? Uh, is it an opportunity to just look at the situation in a different way? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to brush over the fact that some of the triggers are some very, very hurtful things, something like domestic violence or um, PTSD, things of that nature. It takes time. But even with those situations, it's usually like it was saying, grief and sorrow are a necessary part of life. Without the pain, we would never experience the challenges that we need to grow and develop as a person. How would we know what feels good if we didn't know what felt bad? It's yin and yang. We need both sides of the polarity. We need the duality of the situation to be able to understand what we don't want to experience. And whatever that is, and you unfortunately have experienced that, you can, when you go back to that, when you identify whatever that is in your life, identify it, look at the depth of it, figure out what to do, dismantle it, take it apart, take out the parts that is going to help you grow, help you develop as a person. And then when you step back from it and you've done the work and you see that trigger, and then somebody can come around or a situation can happen, and like I was saying earlier, you can be faced with that situation and it doesn't affect you as bad as it once did. That is growth. And that's what we want. That's what we ultimately want. We want to grow. We want to be able to say, you know what? I looked that fear in the face. I looked that situation in the face. I took my power back. Hello. It's just like if someone calls me the B word, you know, PG for YouTube, whoever might find this. Um, if I don't consider myself to be that, even though I know I can, I can be that 100%. But if I know that I am not operating in that vibrational, on that vibrational level, I'm not gonna pay attention to that. You know, where what you give energy to, that's what's going to flow. If you continue to give energy towards this negative self-talk, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it past this situation that happened to me. Oh, I don't deserve this good man, this good woman. Oh, I don't deserve this career because, you know, I can't, I'm not good at computers. But how about identifying what you are good at? How about, you know, going to school to develop, you know, evolve and, you know, get in this technology, get in that lane. I mean, I've told you guys how much me and technology, we are like night and day. But over time, by me doing the work, I have figured out, you know, how to operate to the best of my level at this point, this technology thing. So once you get in motion, scientific law, you stay in motion. So once you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to stop limiting myself. I'm going to stop telling myself that I can't do it. I'm not worth anything better than what I've been given, because you are. The creator is waking you up and giving you the best gift that anyone can give you, and that is the breath of life. Every moment that you have, the 24 hours, if we are afforded that, especially with the activities of our limbs, hopefully a functioning mind, we have the opportunity to look at whatever it is that we're faced with in a different perspective. I'm not going to allow what has happened, keyword happened, past tense, to continue to keep me in a mental prison, you know. So I can't, so you know, it prevents me from being the better version of myself. If I want to attain better things for myself, I gotta put that out there. I gotta put, it's the law of attraction, like attracts like. I gotta be at that vibrational level. If you put out negative, um or a lower vibrational vibe, then that's what you're gonna get in return. That's just it. I make sure, I make sure when I wake up, first thing when my eyes open, I thank God. Why? Because I have an opportunity, and I'm going to make it my business to, I'm going to make it my business just to make sure that I am vibrating on a level in which what comes my way, I'm grounded enough to be able to look at that situation and not react. Make sure I'm grounded enough that I am able to respond. And how I make sure that I stay grounded is that I'm making sure that just my mental, my thought process, that I'm not dehydrated. Just think, when you haven't eaten all day, you know, it's a new thing, or kind of new thing. You're not even hungry anymore. You're hangry. You're angry and you're hungry. You're angry because you're hungry. So now you're hangry. And so if you have not fed your mind positivity, good things, the sunshine, you know, a good vibration, what happens when you haven't eaten? You become angry, you become frustrated, you know, you're mad at anything. The birds are singing, and you want to tell the birds to shut up, and you know, that's because you're dehydrated. Your body is not properly nourished. Your mind is not properly nourished. That's why you're unable to believe in yourself, fully believe in yourself. Because the things that have happened to us in the past, we're still dragging these negative things and repeating. Those people may not even be around us anymore. But whatever they said, whatever we did, we have it on this record, that it's sucking us dry. It's dehydrating our thought process. our thoughts becomes our actions, our thoughts become our beliefs, and it eventually becomes our reality. What do you want your reality to look like? I believe that you don't want to stay in a lower vibrational environment, in lower I'm so sorry. My mind is going faster than I can speak. Um, you don't want to be in a lower vibrational state at any time. It doesn't feel good. So what do you have to do? You have to hydrate yourself. Scientifically they say you got to drink 8 glasses of 8 ounces of water every day. Why? Because our body is mostly made up of water. So we have to replenish it. We have to give it the things that is going to help our body thrive. So our minds, it needs to be nourished. So how do you feed it? Are you going to continue to feed it the lower vibrational things, the things that didn't feel so good? Take that record off the record player, break it up, put it in the trash. Start feeding your mind good things. Hydrate your mind, hydrate your thought process to the point where your belief, your faith in yourself can have the opportunity to grow. Because right now, that nasty pus scab, that bruise that has not healed in I don't know how long, it's time. Why? Because your future is depending on you. Is depending on how well your your hydration is in your mind, because everything starts with our thoughts. Everything that we are enjoying today, it came through someone's thought. So the things that you're manifesting, the things that are inevitably coming around you, you got to check your thought process. If whatever is around you is on the lower polarity, the lower vibrational plane, you're dehydrated. Your mind is dehydrated. So do yourself a favor, hydrate your mind. Put positive things in your mind. Play some good music, some uplifting music to get your vibration high. Bring yourself up. That way, if you're hydrated, you're able to be faced with the situation and respond properly. You'll be able to be faced with the trigger and it not sting so bad. Why? Because you're grounded. You've taken care of that bruise. And now you're better. And now when you see that, yes, I can do this. Yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Then you're going to start running to the storage building to go get out more boxes. Why? Because it's definitely a sense of accomplishment. Who doesn't want to accomplish goals, right? Um, Once you see that you can heal areas of your life, because the healing starts with you. This is just an environment in which it's a safe place for us to come and exchange positive energy. But ultimately it lies with you. Just like I was saying last week, we got free will. We can choose to either heal this area, or we can stay in that mentality of, oh, this hurts, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. If you don't knock it off and become the better version of you, your future's waiting on you. It's waiting on you. And let me tell you, it's bright. Why? Because you deserve nothing but the best. But you got to put the best inside you, so those good thoughts can manifest into your reality of a higher vibrational place for you, a place that you can thrive, that you feel good about yourself. Because once you feel good about yourself, triggers can come and you can say, huh, yep, Not worried about you because you become solid within yourself, grounded within yourself. Your belief is unmatched. And when you are confident and you begin to exude that, look at what you start to attract. So I said all that to say this. I hope that you enjoyed and got something out of the two passages that I've read. Yeah, we're gonna do the triggers, but I wanted it's like this should have been first. But hey, we all learning, right? Even though we plan things out, life happens. And even though we might have said we're gonna do one, two, three, four, sometimes four comes before two, and three becomes before one. We just got to be able to uh, make our adjustments, understand that change happens. Hey, some things are just out of our control, but what is in our control is our hydration level for our thought process, which is going to ultimately control our levels of vibration that we are putting out into the universe and what we're ultimately going to get back. I just want to inspire you. So, Thankful Thursday, closing this up, wrapping it up. Man, 46 minutes. I tried, but it just gets so good, right? Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that your thought processes are not dehydrated. Okay, make sure you stay hydrated, so you can continue to evolve and grow and become the person that you know deep down inside that you know you can be. It's Thankful Thursday. And if you made it this far, please, by all means, tell me what you're thankful for. Don't give me the I'm thankful for my family, my car, my job. Yes, those things, yes, definitely be grateful for. But I just want you to dig deep, okay? Dig deep. What are you thankful for? Man, let me tell you, I'm vibrating high. I don't know if you can feel it, but inside me, I'm like, and it's just a wonderful feeling because it just lets me know I'm alive. And this is what happens when this is my healing process, because as I'm bringing these things to you, I'm doing the work as well. And when I'm vibrating at this level, it just feels so good. It feels like a cold glass of water, ice water on a very hot day. I'm telling you, it feels like a shade when there's nothing but sun all around beaming down, because even though the sun is good, there's two sides to the sun. It can get too intense to the point where it burns you, or it can be just right till it illuminates and allows you to see all the beauty around you. So I pray nothing but beauty around you. But in order for that to happen and be consistent, that beauty to be consistent, we have to be consistent with doing the work, healing those bruised areas. Why? Because when we do and we get in motion and tackle these areas, trust me when I tell you, we're going to be able to not only enjoy the sunlight and see all the beautiful things that are around us, people are going to want to be around us because it's just that good feeling. And who doesn't want good times? To be around good times. The negative times are going to happen. The lower vibrational, unfortunate events are going to happen. But when you make it a point to stay at a level, a higher vibration, then the things as they come, you'll be able to tackle them. And yeah, you'll just be able to tackle them. I mean, I just feel good, man. I really, really do. And I hope that um, when you see this, whenever you see this, just breathe. Sometimes we don't even know our shoulders are, at our earlobes because we're so uptight by life's um, situations. Put your shoulders down. Take a moment and thank God. And I just want to tell you, you can do it. Just have faith. Take that step. Just right here, right now, tell yourself, I can do it. whatever it is, just start telling yourself, I can do it. I can do it because you can. All right, family. Thank you for rolling with me one more again. Definitely, once again, on your way out, if you haven't done it thus far, hit that like button. If you're new here and you digging the content, you feeling my vibe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that that bell icon is notified or is black, so when I put out new content, that you will be in the know. Okay, and to the rest of the family members, cousins, what it do? Let me see you in the content. Sound off. I look forward to engaging with you guys in the conversation in the comment section. And if you would like to hit me up on my email, it's iamstayingonpoint@gmail.com. It's also going across in the banner and also in the description box. Man, I just feel good. And I hope that you feel good as well because the choice is yours. All right, then. Until next time.